Hi, Chenery 7th graders. This is Miss Moyer from Team 7-1 with your notes for section 11-2, translations. If you chose to print out the packet, you can follow along there. If not, no big deal. And today we're going to be identifying translations, what that is, and being able to translate figures in the coordinate plane. We're going to be moving some stuff around. Okay, so we are on page 3 of your packet if you printed one out. So a transformation changes a figure into another figure. The new figure is called the image. A translation is a transformation in which a figure slides but does not rotate. Every point of the figure moves the same distance and in the same direction. So in example 1, we're identifying what a translation looks like. And we're trying to tell whether figure A is a translation of figure B. That means that figure B is where we start and figure A is where it moves to. So to tell if something's a translation, you need to just see if it's slid and not turned at all, and that's simple enough. If you want more information about that, you can also think of it, there goes the dog again, you can also think of it that if you made a line between the two figures from a vertex to another vertex, those lines would all be parallel if it is a translation. So you'll notice that for each of these, you see how all the lines are parallel? That's because it's just slid. So each vertex is just slid the same direction and the same distance. So this one here is yes. For B, this one's going to be a no, and hopefully you can see it just by looking at it. But if we started to make those same lines that I did on the first one, so let's say we think that this vertex moved here, that would mean maybe that this vertex moved there, and you can see these lines aren't parallel, it's twisted around. So now you give it a try. We've got 3 pictures here. Take a moment and decide whether the blue figure is a translation of the red figure. Think it through. Okay, there's your answers. Hopefully you saw that 1 and 2 are no's and 3 would be a yes. Now that you know what a translation is, we're going to start looking at what that means in a coordinate plane where we can have specific start points and end points. So to translate a figure, A units horizontally, remember horizontal is left and right, and B units vertically, up and down, in a coordinate plane, you're going to be just adding A to the x coordinates and B to the y coordinates. It's just an adding situation. So positive values of A and B represents translations up and right. Negative values represent translations down and left. So if you had a point x comma y, your horizontal movement would be added to the x, that's A. Your vertical movement would be added to the y, and that's B. In a translation, the original figure and its image are congruent. This is a word from yesterday's video. Remember, if you want to know, the symbol for congruency looks like that, an equal sign with a squiggle on top. Okay, so example 2, we're going to do a translation in the coordinate plane. So it's asking us to translate this triangle ABC, 3 units right and 3 units down. What are the coordinates of the image? We don't have to get all that fancy here, so we're really just going to take each point. So I'm going to start with vertex A, and I'm going to move it 3 units right and 3 units down, and I'm going to put a new dot there, and that's going to be called A prime, and that little tick mark to the right, it's not an exponent of 1, it's a tick mark that denotes that it is the image of A. So for C, we're going to do, B, let's do it in alphabetical order. B, we're going to move 3 right, 3 down, and now we have B prime. C moves 3 to the right and 3 down, and then we have C prime. So I'm going to delete my arrows so that we have a little space to draw our new image of triangle ABC. Okay, there you go. I drew in my lines so that you can see, and now let's take a look at what happened to the coordinates. So if you take a look down below, we have a place for each set of coordinates. So original A, so our A vertex is at -2 on the x, 1 on the y. A prime is at 1 on the x, -2 on the y. B was at 2, 5. B prime is at 5, 2. C at 1, 2. C prime is at 4, -1. So if you look at mathematically what's happening here, because we're going 3 units right, so our x value is increasing by 3. Our y value for 3 units down is decreasing by 3. So that is consistent at each point. Okay, and that's a basic translation. This example is one that we would like you to try. So this one has a square ABCD, gives you its vertices, and it's asking you to draw the figure and its image after a translation 4 units left and 6 units up. So I'm going to ask you to pause your video, get some graph paper, and give this a try. If you don't have graph paper, you can sketch it, or we will post some printable graph paper that you can print and do your best with that. Okay, so I have drawn in our new image. Notice that I plotted the points and labeled them A prime, B prime, D prime, C prime. Hopefully this has worked pretty well for you. And your homework is this. You have a set of practice problems from page 476 in the book, numbers 4 through 20 evens. Good luck with the assignment, and check in with Mr. Golden or me if you have any questions.